Absolutely.
Washington has shocked everyone this season so far. And Pittsburgh also has done some good moves here, but I think with some of the moves Washington has made recently, they are going to be one of our more formidable opponents. This isn't the Jets. This isn't the Giants. This isn't Atlanta. Like, these guys can ball out. Welcome to Six Rings and Counting. I'm your host, Corey Idle, and joining me, as always, is my man, Dr. Reverend Bishop, lawyer. I know Esquire usually comes at the end, but I don't care. I'm throwing it out.
Esquire.
All the things, all the titles, Mr. Lou Willard. Lou?
There it is.
How we cracking? How we doing?
Look, I can't be. Did you call me a cracker?
I did. Cracker
We
ass.
start
cracker.
the show with that. We start the show with that of this week of all weeks. You know, people's hypersensitive this week. We can't make those jokes on the show.
We're here to talk about football, man. There ain't no sensitivity in football. Let's go.
There's no crying in football.
That's it.
Yeah, man, I'm doing great, man. You know, I'm coming off a great bye week. I'm well rested. I had some minor injuries, but they healed up.
Okay.
You know, because like I had to change contacts because one was getting a little blurry, one got a little sticky. I got my glasses on. Temu got my glasses on, so I'm looking good, feeling good.
Shout out Temu if you want to sponsor the show.
I mean, come on,
because you know these name drops aren't free. You better be sending us some free stuff here. With that said, we are coming up on what I think is one of the bigger games, interdivisional games of the season, coming up against the Washington Commanders.
Absolutely.
Washington has shocked everyone this season so far. And Pittsburgh also has done some good moves here, but I think with some of the moves Washington has made recently, they are going to be one of our more formidable opponents. This isn't the Jets. This isn't the Giants. This isn't Atlanta. Like, these guys can ball out.
Well, you know, anytime you face a quarterback, and I'm so happy for this young man, and honestly, I wish every team had a quarterback that was good because it makes the league more fun, because clearly I'm a football guy.
Mm-hmm.
This kid is good. I wasn't sure how good he was going to be, but he is the truth. He is the real deal. But this team can be scored on. You can move the ball on this team if you can get it from them. The thing is, Pittsburgh is built in the same fashion as the Ravens, and the Ravens handled them. Pittsburgh's defense, tenfold better than the Ravens. I don't care what anybody tell me. Pittsburgh's defense is better than Ravens, especially with the pickups that you had in the trade deadline. This matchup, and I think the Preston Smith acquisition is really because they know they got to have 4 defensive ends that can keep him in the pocket, and they got to stay fresh because they should get Herbert back this week. If they do, you got Watt and Highsmith. Then you run out Smith and Herbert, and you rotate them in and out, and you keep his ass in that pocket. If this young man get loose, man, I'm not going to say Michael Vick's name, but I did. The kid can run, and he can sling that rock. And they have Scary Terry out there, but we do have some corners, though. I'm not really worried about that, but you give him too much opportunity when the scrambling starts and he gets to running around. The DBs can only guard so long. I am really excited. If this isn't the game of the week, I'd have to go through my phone here and scroll to see what it is. Because this game is going to be good. It's going to be good. Can we slow the quarterback? Can they stop Pittsburgh's running game and then contain Russ? And then now we picked up Mike Williams too. You got 2 big body receivers, and Russ loves to throw what? The deep jump ball.
Yep.
This game has all of a sudden gotten really exciting.
No, this game got real interesting. The Steelers, I think, rush offense, believe it or not, will actually be the key. I think the Commanders' defense, which was very weak in pass coverage, has improved every week this season. And who they just had?
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore.
Boom. Saints are in a free-for-all. They're a total fire sale right now. Marshawn Lattimore goes to the Commanders. I'm telling you, this game is going to be a lot of fun. And I think our addition, like you had brought up, Preston Smith, going to help contain, be able to rotate guys, keep them fresh, especially with the mobile quarterback and the running game they have. Don't forget about that, because Washington also is bringing Brian Robinson Jr., if he's healthy, and Austin Eckler to the table. And don't forget, even their third stringer, McNeil, he's no joke. He'll sneak up on you and get you.
Yeah, this game is going to be good. It's going to be a total ball control game. Pittsburgh, I think, is going to play it from a ball control aspect even more so than they usually do, simply because you have to keep the ball out of that kid's hands.
That's it.
Because he can. Do you remember? And people will. Deshaun Watson, when he played for the Texans and they went to Cincinnati on that Monday night, and Cincinnati couldn't get the ball from him. He run at 49-yard touchdown runs. This is where Jalen Daniels is at now, and he's just getting started. You got to keep the ball away from him, because Watson didn't even have receivers then for the Texans. He might have had D-Hop or whatever. I don't know. Somebody correct me. But nonetheless, the ball was in his hand the whole game, and Cincinnati couldn't do nothing with it. They couldn't get it out of his hands. That's what Pittsburgh's going to have to do to this young man, because he's dangerous. He is a difference maker.
Oh,
time of possession is going to be crucial. And mark my words, if Pittsburgh loses the time of possession, it has to be because they win the game by 17 points because they scored quick. That's the only way they can lose time of possession in this game and win, because Washington wants to do the same thing. They're in control of their division. Dallas is done. The Giants are very, very competitive with everybody, but they just can't win. Right. And then you have the Eagles, and the Eagles in Washington is going to be a dog fight down to the end, because this team isn't going anywhere. This is a team, people who are familiar with betting, it's called future bets. They're over under on the wins with 6.5. They've already passed it. You've already cashed that ticket on the ticket that you plan to cash in January. That's how far ahead of the plan that this team is, and they're not regressing. The coach is for real. We said Kingsbury. We talk about it. Some people are better coordinators than they are head coaches. Meet Cliff Kingsbury. There it is. And now he got a kid that can play, and he's coaching him up, and this team is dangerous.
No, I mean, let's actually break it down here, because we're just talking a lot right now and some broad platitudes. The Commanders' offense is ranked third right now in rushing yards per game. Just like we said, or just like Lou just said, that's what they want to do. They are built like the Steelers. Time of possession is 12th in the NFL for the Commanders. They own it 52% of the time. They get the ball out in 2.52 seconds. They are not wasting time. They don't want Daniels to run. It's when nobody's open in those 2.5 seconds, he's gone. Which means while you're still rushing, he's already rolling out of that pocket and he's made his reads. He's gone.
Yeah.
Their offensive line has been insanely good recently. And I think the only weak spot I can find on this offense, to be perfectly honest with you, is their receiving core. And that's no knock on receiving depth. Terry McLaurin. It's just he's by himself.
Yeah, their receiving depth is the biggest obstacle they have, but they overcompensate for that because their offensive line, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I am, ranks as the best offensive line in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you can have a not so great receiving core if can't nobody get to your quarterback. He got all day to sit back there and throw the ball. And that's what they're basing it on. They're basing their stuff on that philosophy. And now what people don't understand, but a lot of people do, so I shouldn't put phrases like that. A lot of people understand winning is a habit, just like losing is.
Yep.
Right now, you remember the Commanders of last year could be up and go, what's going to happen that we're going to lose? Now they're going, don't worry about it. We got it. Don't worry about the fact that they have 13. We got them. They've basically switched roles with the Cowboys.
Oh, 100%.
They've switched roles with the Cowboys is what they've done.
We were talking a little bit off air, and I think this also lends credence to what Russ has been doing with the offense as opposed to Justin. And again, this isn't a knock on Justin because we've praised him this entire season.
Yeah.
But what Jaden Daniels, what Russ have, what a lot of these great quarterbacks have had through time is leadership. And you can tell the Steelers play differently for Russ right now. Whether it's just his swag, whether it's the play calling confidence, whether they know the ball's going to be there, whatever the reason is, they are playing better with Russell Wilson.
They really are. Mm-hmm. And one thing I was telling you, actually I was sitting there, my wife was watching the game with me, and I was telling her the difference. This is why Russell's playing and Justin's not. That ball that they just threw, she's like, it's incomplete. I said, I know, but Justin Fields would have never even given the opportunity. That's the difference. So then the next one's complete, and I'm like, he still wouldn't have threw that one either. You have to throw into some trouble and trust your receiver and trust yourself. In the NFL, it is rare for guys to be wide open. Even though we see the highlights every week, dude running wide open. You hear me joke about it all the time. Oh, I got him. Don't worry about it because he wide open. What's that? Man, there's 16 games a week, and that's what, twice?
Yep.
People aren't open. You have to throw them open, or you have to just go, man, look, dude about to make $30 million a year. Throw him the ball. He'll get it.
That's it.
He want that $30 million. He'll get it. And give them a chance. And yes, you're going to throw something to the other team, and that's okay. That's okay. Especially when you have the defense that Pittsburgh has. Mm-hmm. Now, look, this is a really good matchup. Dan Quinn's a good coach. This is going to be a fun game.
Let me ask you this. We have Cam Sutton coming back, correct?
Yep.
I just brought up that Washington gets the ball out extraordinarily fast when they're passing, 2.5 seconds. Mm-hmm. Having a big physical DB like Cam Sutton back in the game, being able to press these receivers, how much is that going to help and throw off the timing of this offense for the Commanders?
This is one of those questions where, you go, he didn't even answer the question. Who's the referee crew? Because you can jam within 5 yards of the line.
Mm-hmm.
And is Cam playing in the slot? Is he going to be the second corner? Or is he going to be the free safety? And are they going to walk Elliott down to that slot? Tomlin has come out yesterday and said Cam could play anywhere. Obviously, he ain't playing strong safety because we got Minka.
Right.
But any other spot he can play other than that and lockdown corner because we got JPJ. So where's he going to play? I look for a lot of press coverage, which Pittsburgh normally didn't play, but now they have Austin as the DC. So they're starting to play a little bit more because he has more confidence in his corners. And this is a week where you really need to do that because you need to keep everybody as focused on that quarterback as you can because he can rake you for 175 yards rushing and 2 or 3 touchdowns by himself. You have to keep him in that pocket. So you need to press these receivers, rely on your pass rush, but to answer your question, it's huge. That is went around my elbow to get to my wrist, but it's huge. It is huge. You slide those guys up, put Elliott in there. You still got Beanie Bishop. We can press these guys at the line. And Cam's first game back, he don't have to guard this number 2 receiver. He can guard the 3. Beanie Bishop has been locking down number 2s. JPJ been holding his own with every number 1 he's faced. He's given up a few, but that's because CD Lamb making all that money. You're supposed to be, I just said you're supposed to be throwing the ball and he's supposed to make some plays. So he been holding his own. Benny Bishop been outplaying his contract. Now you slide Cam Sutton in there. You could bring Elliott in there or Jackson. We should match up great. The key is, once that happens, we can't forget to tackle the running back.
That'll be it.
You can't forget to tackle the running back because we shouldn't have to blitz, not against this team. They do have the best line in the league, but they want to get this quarterback loose. So you just got to – blitzing ain't the issue. You got to shell game him. It needs to be – if they're going to score on us, it has to be 12-play drives. Well, and you got to rely on them to make a mistake.
I'm trying to figure out how best to phrase this question, but the Commanders having the offensive line ranked where they are, best in the league, isn't that a lot due to the fact that they're not giving up sacks because Jaden Daniels is so mobile?
Yes, absolutely. But it still counts.
Oh no, it still counts 100%.
Counts, yeah.
But it's not like this is the Cowboys offensive line from 3-4 years ago where they're just the early 90s. Stacked. Yeah. Or even the old Redskins hogs up front. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the numbers are skewed a little bit because of. So with that in mind, and I think even watching the running back, I would imagine over pursuit is the concern here. Collapsing too much on that pocket, right? Because if you want to defend the running back or that secondary pass option or the rush, you have to be able to contain more than really just collapse.
So what you'll see, I'm not sure how many sacks you'll see out of TJ Watt because he can't use all his moves because he can't come inside.
Right.
They have to stay outside. Force him up the middle. And Pittsburgh has linebackers, believe it or not, that can run with the quarterback. Peyton Wilson may be faster than Jalen Daniels. I'd be curious to see the race. He may actually be faster. Patrick Queen can get him. Landon Roberts got to cut him off. We have guys that can run with him, but he has to come at us. You can't turn around and go chasing him. And that's going to be one of the biggest things. So with Pittsburgh's edge rushers, so don't even be surprised to see them move TJ Watt around a little bit and run some stunts where the defensive tackle, say, who's ever in the game at the time, loops out, Watt loops in the middle. So he's coming up the middle. Y'all all know they defensive stunts. They run a couple stunts to get the guys inside. And all the defensive tackle has to do is just keep running outside. Just run out there so the quarterback doesn't, and he has to come back. Well, you're running him back into TJ Watt and all these guys. It's going to be really interesting. And our safety should be able to take Zach Ertz out the game because that's going to be his go-to guy, Zach Ertz. And if you can have him dump it off to Eckler and just get him on the ground, we should be able to contain him. But the bigger picture is, I know we spent a ton of time talking about Washington's offense, is Pittsburgh's offense should be able to put up 31 points on this team.
That was going to be my question. The reason I spent more time on the defense, especially in this game, is one, Washington's offense is dynamic. But two, the Steelers, in my mind, can score on anybody. It comes down to their play calling. That is the only thing. If they scheme correctly, they can score with anybody in this league. But if Arthur Smith decides his Audi needs to be coming any that week, we got a problem.
It's going to be real interesting to see how he decides to incorporate Mike Williams into this offense. If he uses him as true two, because I'm basing all this on the fact that we heard at the beginning of the show when I said, if Mike Williams wants to play, and I'll still stand by that. I'm not afraid to come back in here and go, hey, I was wrong. Glad the young man did decide to play. But if he decides to play, you got two big wide receivers on the outside. Pittsburgh couldn't go 4 wide because you didn't have 4 good enough to do it.
Right.
Now they do. But that means you got to take a tight end. You have to take a tight end out of the game, which they're not going to do. Their version of 4 wide been Pickens, Jefferson, or Austin, and then Washington and Freiermuth. That's their 4 wide. So now they actually have a legit number 2 to incorporate into this offense. And once they do, with the running game the way it's been, and the line depth and the way they've been opening up holes, and this Washington defense is leaky. They're leaky.
Oh, yeah.
They could put up 31, 34 points this week. It's on the road, but we're coming off of a bye, and they got to incorporate, Marshawn Lattimore, who's, one of my former Buckeyes. I love him, but he got to have a bad game this week. Who knows how much he'll play? I predict he'll play a lot because he's playing defense. All they got to do is say, cover that guy.
Exactly.
You got that deep third. That's your zone. They could tell him that when they break the huddle. How much will Mike Williams play? I say he might play 20, 25 plays. You got to learn them. The offense is not complicated, so he should learn it quick.
How big of an opportunity bringing Mike Williams in? And I know it maybe doesn't seem like it on paper because you're bringing him back a little bit potentially on the depth chart. But how big of an opportunity is this for Calvin Austin to really showcase what he can do now?
Look, I get the question. This doesn't – I get what you're going for. This actually allows him to go play his normal position. He's a slot receiver.
Right.
He hasn't been able to really flourish in the slot, even though he had the big game the week before the bye out of the slot. But, no, that's where he plays.
Yeah.
He couldn't really play there because he had to go compensate for something that we did not have. Now you get him where he belongs. So this your bingo card.
That's it.
Put that on your bingo card because it opens it wide up. If Mike Williams comes through, Pittsburgh gonna be hella hard to beat. And Preston Smith, if those 2 trades and those 2 players, which I don't think Preston Smith's gonna have an issue. Dude's a veteran, he's been good. Not that Mike Williams isn't a veteran. I just questioned his motivation once we got the contract. Yeah, all right. What's your motivation now? Because you on a team that don't take that bullshit lightly. You play or sit or go. Volunteers, not hostages.
That's it. They've gotten rid of better talent than Mike Williams.
Le'Veon
for
Bell.
less reasons. Exactly.
And then the nutty receiver.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. Yeah, the nutty receiver. They got rid of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And both should be on the team still in their latter stages of their career.
100%.
But you act up, you got to go. You don't want to perform, you got to go. If those 2 trades hit and those guys come through, Mike Williams specifically is who I'm talking about.
Yep.
Pittsburgh is going to be a hard out in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter where they play. They're used to cold. They play in Pittsburgh. They never, ever play a road game. Y'all seen Vegas this year. They don't play road games. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till they go to Cincinnati. They don't play road games. They are going to be a bitch to beat if those guys hit because they're running the ball effectively. Their defense is showing up. And this is as excited as I've been about a Steelers season or a Steelers team, I should say, probably since we had the 3 Bs, Bean, Bell, and Brown. Yeah, I think they have a legitimate shot to make an AFC championship game run. Super Bowl, I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Because the other team on the other side of that ball is going to be just as good as you.
Playoffs are all about chipping a chair. There it
is.
You can throw it all out the window. That's like a good rivalry game in college. It doesn't matter what you got on paper.
Doesn't matter. So you look at the top 2-3 teams when you look at the AFC, okay, the Chiefs are undefeated. I've told you, until somebody beat them, I reluctantly say, and I mean it, they're the best team in the league until somebody beat them. Do they scare you? They don't scare you. Did they scare you 2-3 years ago? Hell yeah, they did. You wanted to duck them. Now you think, shit, we get the Chiefs, we cool. Like we got a shot if we get the Chiefs. Depending on what the referee's going to do, we got this. We got them. But it has to be 4 or 5 egregious calls. I'm not talking little ticky-tack calls, because every team get them called against them. It doesn't matter. But no one scares you in the AFC. Only team that really has my attention in the AFC is Baltimore. They're in the division. Pittsburgh is 8-1 in their last 9 against them. And even though my buddy tell me, yeah, Lamar didn't play last time, I said, okay, that means we 7-1. You got to come better than that. But yeah, Baltimore's good. Newsflash, so everybody listening, that's going to be a hellfire game next week. But we got this one to worry about this week.
Yep.
I'm predicting Pittsburgh will pull it off. It is going to be good. I'm saying Steelers 31-26. Yeah, I know we're giving up 26, y'all, but that offense is legit. That kid is good. You got to give him his respect. I can see Pittsburgh winning 31-26, 34-26. It is going to be good. It's going to be a hell of a game.
I'd give them 31-17. I think defense is really going to show out this
I hope you're right.
I really do. I think they're going to expose Washington's receivers. Everybody but Terry, they are going to expose as a massive weakness. And I just, like I said before, the offense is something surprisingly, I can't believe I'm saying this, I have no concerns about it. It's all about play calling. It's all about Arthur Smith's play calling. If he calls the right game plan, we'll score with anybody. We can compete with anybody. And with this defense, there's no reason to lose. Now, will you lose games? Sure. Of course, it happens. It's the NFL.
It's the NFL,
but at the end of the day, as Lou was saying, we are in every single game. We should be expected to at least, if not win, compete in every single game.
And that's a credit. I know they call him weird for his comments and stuff, but that's a credit to Russell Wilson. He does not panic. No. He will settle everything down and he'll keep you in the game.
Look,
you have to do, if you're in the game going into the fourth quarter in the NFL, you're good. You just got to find a way to win it.
The more I'm seeing Russ play this year, the more I'm thinking he fell victim to the politics of football as opposed to actually his real play. And not just because his contract and getting benched. We all know that. But I just think there was a huge disconnect between him and Sean Payton in Denver. And that it ruined his reputation for a while. Benefited us. We got him on the cheap. And he is, I'm so happy. And I've never really been a Russ guy, but I'm so happy for the way he's playing.
And you know the biggest difference? He went from DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, the tight end, Kenneth Walker, to who? Javonte Williams, a Cortland Sutton coming off an ACL.
A Jerry Jeudy who didn't want to be there.
To be traded. And a coach that didn't want him.
Yep.
That's the only difference. And when he came out of that, you know what he had? 26 touchdowns and 8 picks.
There it is.
And they benched him. So it wasn't Russ.
No.
So he picked it up right where he left off. After he threw the first 4 balls in the ground and we booed him off the field, as we should have. Hell, I can go out there and throw it in the ground if I could catch the snap.
I'd say if my hands were big enough to hold the football, like I have the 2 hands.
They snapped pretty aggressive, so I probably would have dropped it. No, but he's keeping you in games. Arthur Smith knows what he had. Arthur Smith, to this point in the season, I'm not going to get ahead of my skis, but this point in the season is proving me wrong.
Yep.
In a good way. in a good way. Because I was like, if he do what he did in Atlanta, we going to get what he got in Atlanta. Oh, no. That offense is opening up. It's opening up. So keep proving me wrong, and I'll keep coming on it every week and telling you that I was wrong about August Smith, and would love to have him on the show. And I'd apologize to him if he keeps this up. No problem at all. No problem at all.
Look, man, he's made me feel so bad I've grown an Arthur Smith appreciation mustache.
You kind of look like him, too.
Yeah.
Next week, wear a hat.
Well, next week, I'm going to bench you for less talent.
That is going to be hard to do if you find somebody with less talent than me.
I'll just do a double screen of myself. That'll be real entertaining. For Lou Willard, I'm Corey Idle. This is 6 Rings and Counting. Let's get some, boys. We'll see you next week.